Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
The city was a symphony of light and shadow. Neon signs pulsed, painting the wet pavement with vibrant hues. Car headlights sliced through the drizzle, leaving trails of shimmering gold. A gentle breeze, carrying the scent of rain and distant jasmine, swept through the open French windows of. Inside, the air was warm and inviting, filled with the murmur of hushed conversations and the soft tinkling of silverware. Tucked away in a corner, bathed in the warm glow of an antique lamp, sat a solitary figure. Abhi, a man on the cusp of 30 with kind eyes and a hint of melancholy etched on his handsome face, stared out at the street. He traced patterns on the worn tablecloth, his gaze distant, lost in the familiar landscape of anticipation and hope. The café, with its cozy charm, had been their sanctuary, a silent witness to their love story. Tonight, it held the promise of a new chapter. Every Wednesday for the past 4 years, ABHI had returned to this very table. He would order their usual 2 cappuccinos, extra foam, just the way Trisha liked it, and lose himself in the pages of his latest manuscript. It was a ritual, a silent devotion to a love that had taken root in the heart of this quaint little cafe. Tonight, however, was different. The weight of the date, etched in his mind for years, hung heavy in the air. It was the anniversary of Trisha's departure, the day she had left for London to chase her dreams. But it was also the day she had promised to return, the day Abhi clung to with unwavering faith. His fingers tightened around the worn spine of his book, a collection of short stories titled, Waiting for You. Each story, a love letter disguised in prose, was inspired by Trisha, a testament to the enduring power of their connection. Tonight, he hoped, life would imitate art. A sudden gust of wind rattled the windows, drawing Abhi out of his reverie. He looked up, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs as the bell above the door chimed. A figure, silhouetted against the streetlights, stepped inside, shaking raindrops from a bright yellow umbrella. Time, it seemed, stood still. Trisha. Even after all these years, he'd recognize her anywhere. Her smile, once hesitant and shy, now bloomed with a newfound confidence. Her eyes, the color of warm honey, still held the same spark of intelligence and warmth that had captivated him years ago. Their eyes met across the cafe, a silent recognition passing between them. The years melted away, the distance forgotten, as a wave of emotion washed over Abhi. It was her laughter, the way it used to fill his world with sunshine, that broke the spell. He rose to his feet, his heart overflowing with a mixture of relief, joy, and a love that had only deepened with time. 4 years ago, at this very table, ABHI had held Trisha's hand, his heart heavy with the impending separation. Trisha, her eyes shining with a bittersweet mix of excitement and apprehension, had promised to return after completing her studies abroad. "Wait for me," she had whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "I promise I'll come back to you." And wait he did. He poured his heart and soul into his writing, channeling his longing and love into every word. He built a successful career, his stories resonating with readers who saw their own yearnings reflected in his prose. But through it all, Trisha remained his muse, his constant, the silent driving force behind his every ambition. "You look," Trisha began, her voice catching in her throat as she sat down opposite him. "You look wonderful, Abhi." Her eyes, filled with a mixture of awe and admiration, swept over him, taking in the changes time had wrought. "So do you," Abhi replied, his voice husky with emotion. He gestured to her chair. "Cappuccino, extra foam?" She laughed, the sound as familiar and comforting as a warm embrace. "You remembered." Their conversation flowed effortlessly, bridging the years with shared memories and laughter. They spoke of their dreams, their fears, and the bittersweet pain of being apart. Abhi spoke of his writing, his voice filled with a quiet passion that had been absent in the years before he found his voice through his love for Trisha. "I read your stories, Abhi," Trisha confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. She reached across the table, her fingers brushing lightly against his. Every single one. Abhi's heart skipped a beat. He had never dared to imagine that his words, his deepest emotions laid bare, would reach her across the miles. In your words, she continued, her eyes shining with unshed tears, I found our story. I found you waiting for me. He saw the understanding dawn in her eyes, the realization that his love had never wavered, that his every word had been a testament to his unwavering faith in their bond. Her touch, hesitant at first, grew bolder, her fingers intertwining with his. In that moment, the years of separation melted away, leaving only the comforting warmth of their shared love. As the night deepened and the last few patrons trickled out, Abhi and Trisha remained, lost in their own world. The café once again became their sanctuary, a silent witness to their reunion. Stay, Abhi whispered, his voice rough with emotion. Stay, and let's write the next chapter together. Trisha's eyes, reflecting the soft glow of the lamplight, met his. He saw her answer in their depths, a reflection of his own yearning. She leaned forward, her forehead resting against his. This time, she whispered, I'm not going anywhere. And as the rain continued to fall outside, washing away the dust and the memories of their years apart, Abhi and Trisha began to write their next chapter. A chapter filled with the promise of love, laughter, and a lifetime of shared dreams. A love story penned in ink, sealed with a kiss, and lived out in the heart of a city that had brought them together at long last.